So it's been quite a while since I've made a video sharing what's been on my mind. And ironically, I feel like what's been on my mind, or what usually is on my mind, is my cat is chewing wires. Come on, buddy. He'll have to join us today. Oh, he does not want to. You don't want to be on camera? You don't want to be on camera? Okay. Go to sleep then. He's weird. It's like when he does not want to be with you, he will not want to be with you. That's not weird. It's just boundaries. But I just want to make sure he doesn't chew any wires. Hey, guy. Okay, so as I was saying, it's been a while since I've shared what's been on my mind, and I feel like I usually have a train of thoughts as we enter the spring and exit the winter that feel simultaneously heavy and urgent, yet also light and refreshing. And so let me explain. So we're definitely living in peculiar times. I'm sure we all are aware of that. And a peculiar moment in history, right? Where it feels like we have come to terms with, or we've become much more aware of how life operates, how power structures manifest, and how they affect our lives, how like the situation that we're in and how it pertains to and we've had this knowledge for quite some time, or at least some people have had this knowledge for a long time, and that knowledge spans beyond like what you can even think about. I mean, it's life, it's spirituality, it's emotions, it's intellect, it's politics, it's everything, right? And we find ourselves in a situation where we are becoming very aware of our lived realities, but also the constructed reality around us, and how people and certain like entities, if you will, can construct reality literally through just incessant like bombardment of, now it's misinformation on the internet, but back then it was like deception, and it was like obfuscating information, like hiding it. But nowadays it's more about just like inundating you with it, and there's still people who hide information. But at the end of the day, this is going to be in the political realm, and I'm not one of those people. I will talk politics when it's time to talk politics, but we're at a very important juncture politically where I think the world, and the United States is not the world, but the world and where I live, the United States, is in desperate need of stabilization for a long time, and a return to some semblance of normalcy. And ironically, that normalcy has to be from a bold, more progressive push, and not like shying away from that or trying to compromise. Like, there is room for compromise, but not compromising with forces and powers that have no intention of compromising with you, right? So I recently have been paying attention to how some of these primaries have been working out, and there are some very interesting candidates. One candidate who's been rising in popularity is Kat Abu Ghazaleh. I might be mispronouncing that, but I found out about her quite late, and it was inspiring to see someone who genuinely cares running for office. And she seems like the type of person where, as long as like the external influences do not like get a hold of her, which I will dive into later, she seems like someone who will actually stand on business and try to do what she's actually running on. And it's very rare to see care in the political world, right? Um, a lot of politics has been stripped of that care. A lot of it has been gamified and treated as some sort of sport, or something that is like not that does not have real implications for the public. It's public service, right? And so seeing her like actually approaching her her campaign with that mindset of public servants and care was really heartwarming and inspiring. And unfortunately, she did not win her primary in order to potentially be in the race in the midterms. But still, like, it's that momentum that we need, right? And it's that, like, hey, we can elevate someone over these billionaire mega donors who are trying to like puppeteer our world for us, right? And they're trying to divide us. And at the end of the day, like, we we just have to stop turning our backs on each other and start to like come together. And the people who want us to turn our backs on each other, who are actively trying to make that happen, have turned their backs on humanity and themselves and life long ago, right? So they're still human, but at the end of the day, we have to be concerned with like what is the life that we want to live and why. And so I feel like, I don't know if you guys can hear me, like if you guys have been in this slumber and this whirlwind and this chaos for the last decade like I have. I can't say I've been aware of it for a decade, but like at least the last several years, we're all in it together, right? And there's like a sense of like urgency and importance in the moment. And it's the spring, and the spring is a time of like, listen, you've been thinking about things, right? I've been thinking about things. It's a time of um, action. It's a time of urgency to not hesitate, to not doubt yourself, and to just act in small ways on the things you've been thinking about. And everyone has a different role in their life, in their community. And so I'm just trying to think like, where can I act and do things I've been thinking about, whether it's my health or being more present with my family and in my life, and just trying to be a better person every day. And that's not easy because like coming out of winter, I have like really bad seasonal like ebbs and flows. So like I go ghost for like several months, but the spring is a time to be like, hey, whatever you've been struggling with or thinking about, this is a time for something fresh, for something to start new. And that's why we're at a critical juncture, because um, it's synonymous with like spiritual it's synonymous with the spiritual, where like as literally the sun starts coming out and the air is fresher. And it's funny because I was just thinking like, where I live, it is like the hottest day on record for a spring day that there's ever been. So like that level of juxtaposition or contrast is very fitting for the times we live in. But I think spiritually, we we are turning a corner. I truly believe it. It's not like a, hey guys, we're like a month or two away from enlightenment and everything will be good. Like, no, it's not like that. But what I do think is we're building up steam and momentum, and this year is very important. So the midterms are huge, and I don't want people to view midterms as like, hey, my way or the highway, or if it doesn't work out, then like we're just screwed, because it's all about momentum and where the direction of the country heads in over the next 2 years after these midterms, several years. That can have implications for decades beyond this of what we choose to do right now. So if you're not thinking politics, it's okay. Like, you don't, it's the spring. You don't want to like think about the political realities of the world necessarily, but you do want to act with the information that you've thought about, and we can't ignore it. And this is very important, regardless of how you feel about Trump or the current administration. Um, you have to act and do something about it. So if you have funds to support it, if you can go and vote, if you can get your friends to vote, it's very important that our political world starts to match the world that we'd like to see. And we have the foundations, but right now we still have like, of course, very oppressive and corrupt people who are abusing structures to, funnel more and more money and power to themselves and keep people down. And that needs to stop. So, I'm not naive about things. Like, people who are running these very progressive, and honestly, like, it feels good. It feels good to see these campaigns. If someone like Katz or other people gain enough momentum, we know that there is no line that certain people and powers that be won't cross. There is no line. And so it's weird because I feel kind of scared for these people who run for office, in the sense of like they will come after your life, your livelihood, and it does not stop at all. If you know, if you pick up what I'm picking up on, I just don't want to like say it explicitly just so YouTube maybe doesn't censor things too much, but they will come after you, and we have to recognize that we have strength in numbers. We have like an insulation in numbers, right? Because like darkness cannot exist once you shine a light on it. And I think we're seeing like this, humanity has been in a perpetual like struggle with ourselves and each other, with light and darkness for so long, right? And I'm starting to not see it as like a tug of war as much. It's felt like that for so long, right? Where it's like darkness is winning, light is winning, and like the world's better, the world's worse. But I'm starting to see as like we've all been peeking under the veil, right? And like if you've been seeing under this veil, you understand how it applies to your life. You see it in others in the world, and you understand that so much of our suffering is manufactured. It's not even real. It's people building it on illusion. And so, as the illusion crumbles and our awareness rises and our unawareness starts to dissolve or disintegrate, that is where we need to like continually like there's no holding back, bro. Push the agenda. Like I swear, if I come across fingers crossed, like any sort of like resources or funds or whatever, you know where I'm allocating that no matter what. Because whether Cat won or lost, or a candidate wins or loses, it's about the big picture, okay? It's about like what are we going to support and move into going forward. So, man, that felt good. It felt good just to get it out there. Hopefully, you guys relate in some way or are on your own journey. I'd love to hear your experiences of how you've been experiencing these last few years and where you're at, because I know I fluctuate a lot between like, or I used to, between like extreme optimism and extreme pessimism, but I'm starting to find my balance of like we need to have hope, we need to be optimistic, but we also can still be pragmatic and realistic about where we are and where we need to go. And I feel good about things, and it's saying that as we're like reaching a as at like a tipping point, right? Like we're seeing like escalating and geopolitical tensions in the war in Iran and all of these sorts of things. These are, instead of viewing them as like things are getting worse and worse and worse and worse and we're screwed, view them as like catalysts for ways, and view them as I'm starting to view them. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm starting to view them as catalysts for change and for something positive, for something good. And it's really unfortunate that good people and normal people suffer as a result. But let's not have them suffer in vain. Let's make it mean something and actually do something about it. So that's where I'm at, and I hope that you and your loved ones are staying safe and staying healthy, and just don't give up. And that, I guess I am telling you what to do right there, is like don't give up. And as long as we don't do that, I think we have a shot. But yeah, that's it. It felt good to just speak about the state of the world and what's been on my mind. And if you are someone who feels alone in this, just know you're not alone. A lot of us are thinking about these things and figuring these things out, and we should do it together. I need to do it together. I've been pretty isolated in these thoughts for a while, so maybe this is a start for me, is sharing this online. And then a step forward is like sharing it and finding people who are on that wavelength in person, or continuing to support what I believe in. And that's all we can do, right? Is try to support what you can believe in and make the world around you a better place. Yeah. My cat is chilling now, by the way. So I'm not even going to edit this. I'm tired of editing. So yeah, that's it. All right. As always, but not always, because a lot of you don't know me, but I'm wishing you all peace and love. Bye.